Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I am super excited to be here and for all of you to be here, no pun intended. I want to welcome all of you, and for those of you who don't know me, my name is Selena and I teach moms natural ways of healing so they can help them and themselves, their children, break free from the bondage of chronic illnesses that may happen to be in their life, whether it's eczema, autoimmunity, GI disorders, lots of different health issues. So part of the things that we do use in that is foods, and especially superfoods, to help make a new SuperYOU. So I want to get started here, and the first thing that we want to go over is the disclaimer. This presentation is designed for educational purposes only and is not engaged in rendering medical advice, legal advice, or any other professional services. If you feel that you have a medical problem, you should seek the advice of your physician or healthcare provider. So let's move on. How many of you get this reaction from your family when you say, hey, look at all this good, great vegetables that we're going to have for dinner? Yeah, right? They're like, huh? And then you're like, yes, we're going to have, all these different green vegetables and all these different really cool, healthy foods. And then it's like, oh no, Mom, no, I don't like those vegetables. I don't like that food. And then it just turns into this really frustrating argument, and it just gets to be really exhausting. And it's like, you've slaved in the kitchen all day long. You're like super mom making all these really super cool foods, and you're just not quite, nobody else is on board with it. So this webinar will hopefully help you become the super mom in the house where everyone else is all excited. They go from this and they transform into like excitement and saying, oh yes, what did Mom make? Hey, can I help with those foods? And can I have more of those foods? And so the first thing we want to kind of go over is, what are some of our objectives tonight? So we want to, touch on what is a superfood, and then how can I spot what's a superfood? And then one of the most really cool and most important things is utilizing superfoods in our daily food list. So what is a superfood? So this term superfood has become a very well-known term in the nutrition movement, yet a lot of people really don't know how to define it. And that's because there isn't really a single definition of what is a superfood. So all superfoods, though, have a high concentration of vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, fiber, healthy fats, and quality protein. But what superfoods don't have are added sugars, artificial ingredients, natural flavorings, and toxins. So it's great to know, what superfoods are, but then what should we be looking for when we're going to pile up and, stock our pantry with these foods? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. Once we get past this, I want to first take a few general guidelines whenever we're looking at what is a superfood, what makes a superfood a superfood. Okay, and that is, one of the first things is nutrient density, like how much protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals are in a single serving. We want to have them packed rich with these vitamins and minerals and this quality fuel. And the other thing is nutrient diversity. And so what that means is we want to have a variety of these different kind of nutrients, not just, a whole bunch of just one kind of vitamin or mineral or nutrient. And then it's what it's absent of. Like I said, it's absent of these toxins. It's absent of hormones, chemicals, pesticides, GMOs. They're going to be clean sources of nutrition. Often manufacturers will label this, but they can also be very tricky, especially like I mentioned that last slide, natural flavoring. So a lot of times they'll claim that, oh, this is all natural. And so, but in nature, we don't add things to make a flavor to it. It comes the way our creator made it. Is just absolutely powerful. So make sure we're really reading labels whenever we're buying anything in a package. So what are some of these everyday superfoods that we can incorporate? Sometimes people are really surprised at what they're eating, like how good and beneficial these foods actually are. So I'm going to go over just a handful of some of these today. And the other misconception is that these superfoods are just way too expensive and we can only get them at these, exclusive, really, expensive health food stores. And that's just not the case. There's so many of these superfoods are available in our grocery stores, even, organic versions of these. So we're going to start with the first one, which a lot of times this category is the one that comes up with against the most people are hesitant to incorporate, and that is green foods. That's where we see a lot of kids like, oh, I just don't like green foods. I just don't want to eat these greens. And they're just some of the most powerful foods that we can get. And the first one is kale. Kale is at like the top of the list when it comes to superfood. It is like the most nutrient packed, dense packed of all these superfoods. It has the largest amount of antioxidants of any fruit or vegetables. It's a super veggie, incredibly rich in fiber and calcium, iron, vitamin K, A, and C. And it also has compounds that are great for decreasing disease risks. According to Dr. Drew Ramsey of Columbia University, a cup and a change comes with 14% of your daily calcium, 659% of your daily vitamin A, and more than 900% of your daily vitamin K. The benefits are endless, and an ounce of cooked kale offers more iron than beef. And if that wasn't enough, the caloric load is just hardly anything. A cup of boiled kale is only about 36 calories. The best part of kale is the variety of it, the way that it can be prepared. You can add it into smoothies, you can put it in salads, you can do it in stir fries and chips. And these last two are some of our family favorites. We love to just chop up some kale and add it to any of our stir fry dishes. We add it to soups, and then I make chips. And I make the chips the very, very lazy way. And that is, I'll get the large leaf kale and the organic, and then I will wash it, make sure it's good washed, dry it off really well, and then I just throw it straight in my oven on the oven racks. I make sure that the leaves are turned upwards, otherwise when they start to dry, they will kind of curl around the rails in the oven racks, and then it makes it kind of hard to get them off. But if I make sure the leaves are up, like the curly part is up, this works really well. And I have my oven on about 400, cook them about 10-15 minutes. It just kind of varies as to the size of them. And when they're done, I take them out and I just kind of scrape them I take the stem and I just kind of pull the rest of the leaves off the stem. So I just have the stem left, and I have this big bowl of these kale chips, and I just drizzle a little bit of melted butter over them or olive oil, and they are absolutely amazing. So that's our favorite way to include kale. And then I can also take these kale chips and you can put them, those in your soup and garnish your soups or garnish other things with them. And it's really super fun. So getting the kids involved is another way to get them to eat these foods and enjoy these foods, is whenever they get to help prepare these foods. And kale's a great one that the kids can, help it prepare. And the next one is something that we can all go nuts over. A lot of us, I guess, can't, because nuts are one of those foods where people have a lot of sensitivities. But if you don't have a sensitivity, there are some fabulous benefits in nuts, with almonds being at the top of that list. Almonds have so many different benefits. I'm just going to touch on a few of them. One of them is it has a great fiber. It has unsaturated fats. It has potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, iron, and vitamin E. And all of those things are needed to help us detox, to help us digest, for our neurotransmitters, for, just for our health in general, but especially whenever we are dealing with a chronic health and we're trying to reverse any of the damage from these diseases and these chronic illnesses. We need these good quality fuels for our pathways to work optimally so that we can detox and so that we can repair. And so studies have even shown that almonds can pose great benefits in lowering cholesterol and blood pressure. And cholesterol is one of those things that our body makes whenever there's inflammation. So when we have these chronic illnesses, this inflammation happens and our body's like, hey, we need more. Well, the almonds provide a lot of these nutrients so that this repair can happen. So it helps to decrease the need for cholesterol. And so that's all something that we can go totally nuts about, is these powerful nutrients in nuts. And next up we have quinoa, and this is like one of the smallest, foods I think on our list that I have today, but it is super, super packed. Quinoa is one of these special grains that it actually provides all of the 9 essential amino acids. And there's a lot of confusion over the essential amino acids. The essential amino acids are the amino acids that our body can't make. We need them, but the only way we can get them is through dietary intake of them. And typically we are told that, you can only get all of your essential amino acids from meat. So vegetarians, if you're a vegetarian, you can't get all your essential amino acids. Well, quinoa is one of those things that has all of those essential amino acids. It's absolutely super, super, super food. Not only that, it is also gluten-free. And with the rise of these autoimmune disorders, GI disorders, eczema, skin disorders, all of these chronic ailments that produce a lot of inflammation, gluten feeds into that inflammation. So whenever we're dealing with those things, almost always we see that we need to get off of gluten, and quinoa is one of those things that we can substitute to help get amino acids that doesn't have the gluten. Super, super yummy recipes that we can find. Quinoa is very versatile. Like we have, you can have it for breakfast. It's sort of like making oatmeal, but we make like a quinoa cereal, a banana quinoa bake, blueberry quinoa smoothie blend. And then for lunches, we could have like a quinoa citrus and spinach salad. We can do quinoa savory I forgot the pancakes for breakfast. Stuffed tomatoes with quinoa. Turkey quinoa meatballs. There's just so many ways that we can use quinoa. It's just absolutely amazing. And one of those things that typically our family is going to really, really enjoy. And we're not going to get that, oh, Mom, no, I don't want that healthy food. This is something they can be like, oh, can I have more? Can I have more? Which goes to the beans. There's so many beans that we can get great, great benefits from. So we have different shapes and colors and sizes, and they are all chocked with full of nutritional benefits. So some of the things that these beans help, that give us reasons to rave about, are they are packed with protein. Half a cup of beans has approximately 7 grams of protein, which is about the same amount as found in 1 ounce of meat. They help support our digestive system, which they serve as a great regulatory tool to keep our digestive systems moving and flowing, to help us make sure that we are detoxing and we're digesting our foods and getting rid of toxins. And they're wonderful for helping our heart. They help us to keep the cholesterol in check and in balance. They are nutrient powerhouses. They're full of a variety of nutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals such as zinc, iron, magnesium, copper, folate, manganese, potassium, phosphorus. And they're another one of these that are very versatile. They can be served as being the main dish or a side dish, appetizer, snack, and even desserts. So one of my favorite cakes is actually a chocolate cake, and it's made with beans. And they're just absolutely amazing. And then here's one of our family favorites, is a Mexican inspired bean salad. So we just use a variety of different beans. In this recipe, it happens to be black beans, kidney beans, and cannelli beans, and a green pepper and a red pepper. Chop those up, add in some corn, put in a nice red onion chopped, and then some good olive oil, a raw apple cider vinegar, some lime juice, and some lemon juice. Like, these are fresh limes and fresh lemons. We get some good juice out of those. Some garlic. We're going to use quite a few cloves of garlic. We love garlic. And then a bunch of fresh cilantro, some ground cumin, black pepper, and chili powder. Mix that all up, and it is just absolutely fantabulous. Like, this is another one where the family will absolutely love. And how many of you know oats are a superfood? Yes, they are. They're incredibly affordable, and they're super versatile and very easy to prepare. They've been known as a rock star breakfast food for quite some time. And it's for a number of reasons. You can pretty much dress them up to whatever it is you want. And you really don't have any reason to get bored with oats. Their high fiber helps keep us full longer, and they help us to naturally increase our energy levels in creating the perfect head start breakfast. It's often sometimes though thought of being plain when I just think that, oh, this mushy hot cereal, but there's so many things that we can add to it, just like as the almonds or fresh fruit like blueberries and even a little bit of honey. It can also be served cold in the form of an overnight oats. Overnight oats are where you prepare by throwing them together with equal part oats and either milk or kefir and your choice of desired toppings. You just put them in a jar and refrigerate overnight or for at least 4 hours, and that's it. And you can also incorporate it into many baked goods as well, like muffins and even bread. Which leads us to berries. I am thankful every day our creator made berries. Oh, these are just absolutely wonderful. Research even supports these wonderful berries as being one of the top of the list as far as it comes to antioxidant content, which isn't surprising. Their health benefits are plentiful and they are super delicious. It's a total win-win-win. So what makes these things so super? Well, blueberries can help lower our blood pressure, lower cholesterol, support healthy metabolism, combat inflammation, and they have heaping amount of potassium and fiber and vitamin C. There's even been studies that have concluded that blueberries may reduce the risk of coronary heart disease and help inhibit the growth of breast cancer cells. Researchers are also actively looking into the impact blueberries have on cognitive ability. So as of now, there's strong evidence that eating these berries regularly combats cognitive decline in the elderly. Because of this, it's suggested that blueberries may also help play a role in fighting serious memory issues like Alzheimer's. Some of their favorite ways to get blueberries in our diets is often by the means of baked goods and pies and muffins. But relying solely on those types of ways to incorporate them can actually do more harm than good with all the increased sugar intake. So we really need to be creative when using these berries, which I'm going to share with you one of our family favorites here in just a moment. But first, before I get there, let me talk about the sunny side of healthy, and that is eggs. In the past, eggs have really suffered from a bad reputation, resulting in this campaign that, oh, there's too much cholesterol and their cholesterol content was oh so bad for us. However, eggs actually are considered one of these superfoods. We have to remember when it comes to cholesterol, our body makes most of the cholesterol that we have. Only a very limited amount actually comes from our food. So if we are having a problem with high cholesterol, it's really more about our lifestyle. What kind of inflammation is going on? Because the body's saying, hey, I need something to do this repair work, and that cholesterol gets sent out to do repair. So we need to be looking at other things besides just, lowering cholesterol in our food. We need to be looking at the whole picture as to what's going on. But back to the eggs. So nutritional science support that these eggs being such superpower foods, that they are a way of getting rich sources of essential nutrients without a whole lot of calories. There's so many benefits that I can't list all of them, but I'll talk about just a few of them. The first one is that eggs can provide more than 20% of the daily recommended allowance of vitamin D. And vitamin D is a very, very important nutrient. So this is what we need whenever we're fighting any kind of illness. We really need vitamin D, especially like over the winter time. We have colds going around, the flu. We need to have our vitamin D stores up there because we need our immune system to be able to have that great power. Deficiencies have often been linked to cancer, to heart disease, to immune disorders, weakening bones, and even mental health issues. There's two prominent antioxidants found in eggs, and that's lutein and zeaxanthin, and they help to protect the eyes to prevent macular degeneration. And that disease can lead to blindness, and it's often because of the free radicals that we're exposed to, especially things like cigarette smoke. The yolks are full of a B vitamin, choline. Choline is crucial for brain cell structure and how the brain communicates with the rest of the body. It helps to strengthen what we call muscle memory and metabolism, and it even helps with short and long-term memory. Among other sources of protein, eggs contain the richest amount of amino acids, and those are those essential building blocks that we need for proper growth and repair of our bodies. And additionally, they're a great source of vitamin A, vitamin B12, B5, iron, phosphorus, and selenium. And these are just a few of the many benefits that eggs have to offer. Keep in mind, not all eggs are created equally. The most nutritious ones are those which are pasture free ranged versus those that are in cage farm, factory farmed eggs. And also, there's many that have egg allergies or egg sensitivities. Be aware of what your body, how it reacts to eggs, because we certainly don't want to eat the superfood because they think, oh, this is good for us, whenever it's really causing us harm if we have some sort of a GI imbalance where we have, intestinal permeability, we have, different sort of autoimmune disorders and things like asthma and eczema. If we have a lot of chronic illnesses, we want to be careful about, looking at what kind of food sensitivities that our body may have. And eating some scrambled eggs may not always be for everyone. So I'm going to share some unique recipes, and these are our family favorites. The first one, let's see if you all can guess what this one is banana pancakes. Super duper easy. It's 2 ingredients. It's 1.5 bananas and 2 eggs. Some recipes call for some baking soda. We just do like this. Those were actually pictures of the ones we made ourselves. The tip that I offer almost always is to use a really thin spatula to turn them. Otherwise, these are just like pancakes, and they are like amazing, like super amazing. Your kids will love them. And the next thing that we do with our eggs, and this was created by our kids, was a family recipe, is they take a few eggs, they scramble them up, and then they say, hey mom, I have some moldy eggs. And the first time this happened, I'm like, moldy? What happened? Moldy eggs? How do eggs get moldy? And so I go in there and I'm looking, I'm like, what in the world? Because they had hidden a lot of the fruit, so I couldn't see the fruit. They were trying to trick me. And then they just start laughing, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys did. Like, why are these eggs all these different colors? And so they had put in fruit in with their eggs. These are the best eggs ever, hands down. And so, find ways to have fun with your kids. Get on Pinterest, get on our Pinterest page, get on our Facebook page, and, look at some of our different recipes and just have fun with your kids and let them experiment. Whenever they can experiment and make these things, then it kind of takes our whole health to a new level. Which comes to the next thing is fish. This is another one of those where it's kind of like the greens, like, oh, fish. Some people love fish. Some people are like, oh, I don't want fish. I don't like fish. Well, we found another favorite family recipe. And this one came about from our quest to find a replacement for the Cotton Patch. For those of you that are from East Texas are probably familiar with the restaurant, the Cotton Patch. It's just like a family restaurant for those of you not here in East Texas. And they have amazing, amazing salmon. So I'm on this quest to find it. And here's what I came up with. And I think it's just as good as theirs, if not better. And for a family of 4 servings of salmon. The dill is completely optional. 2 to 3 tablespoons of grass-fed butter and about half of a lemon. So you preheat your skillet on medium heat, and once that skillet is hot, you want to spread about a tablespoon of butter just to kind of lightly coat your skillet bottom. Put in your fish and let it cook for 3 to 4 minutes, and then you're going to add another teaspoon of butter and then flip the salmon over. After you flip it, squeeze some of that lemon over the salmon while it's cooking and let it cook for another 3 to 5 minutes or until it's done. You want to make sure that it's kind of flaky and it's done. And after you take that out, in that same skillet, melt the remaining butter. Then squeeze in almost all of the rest of that half a lemon. And as you squeeze, let that juice drizzle around the pan. It's going to kind of sizzle. It takes about 30 seconds. And then you have this wonderful lemon butter to pour over your salmon. Then you can garnish it with dill and pepper as desired. And also you can just squeeze just a tiny bit of that lemon on there as well. And this is by hands down like our favorite way to have fish. And typically, I guess I should have put on there for a family of 4, you may need like 6 to 8 servings because it is so good. Everybody always wants to have more. We can never get enough. No matter what we're having, it's like, oh, I want more. It is so delicious. There are so many other options of superfoods. To cover them all, we could be on here all night. There's green tea, there's avocados, pumpkin, flax seeds, broccoli, garlic, ginger, wheatgrass, acai, honey. There's just this huge list of other ways that we can really give our body the fuel that it needs to heal, to repair, to have energy, to have mental clarity. All of those things all work together for health and longevity. So I know I shared like a ton of information with you, and it might have been a little overwhelming, but that's okay. Healthy eating is a staple of high quality lifestyle, and it's something that really we need to put our time and energy into, because the results of that include so many things like more energy, higher quality of life, especially the quality time we can spend with our children, protection against disease, and even we can reverse some of these chronic illnesses. And overall, we can just feel super. So if you feel like you need more support on incorporating some of these superfoods in your diet, or perhaps you've tried a lot of these and your child has a lot of reaction to some of these foods, or you have reactions, you're not alone. There are so many others like you, and that's why I do what I do. So jump on a call with me. I offer a free 45-minute discovery consultation, and I look forward to speaking with you. You can visit my site at programs.thefunctionalperspective.com. And I look forward to speaking with you, and thank you so much for attending. And you all have a wonderful, blessed, healthy evening. Take care.